Hold on. Peace, God. Peace, Goddess. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings from the Most High God. Ashe. That image I showed you in my journal, that was showing the microcosm versus the macrocosm. The macrocosm versus the microcosm, everything is connected. The microcosm is the macrocosm. It's only relative to our size, like our perception. We can only see so much. And based on our perspective, as above, so below. Each man is a star bound to a body. That's the 5-point star where you see earth, wind, fire, air, or that's the 5-point star where you see fire, air, water, and earth, with spirit being the 5th element, or ether being the 5th element. And so this is what you see on most pentagrams, like utilizing the moon, but the moon is correlating to your spirit. The sun is correlating to your soul. The moon is the feminine aspect, along with the earth, the water in the earth, and the ether, the universe. The sun is conscious energy, masculine energy, along with the air and the wind. And so the sixth sense is consciousness, perception, light, along with darkness, your subconscious and your conscious. But we only access typically 15%. And so 85% of our conscious is our subconscious. But this is the feminine aspect, our darkness. And a lot of our life is governed by our subconscious. And so the subconscious is the body. So our body records everything from the beginning of our birth. Since the beginning of our birth, our subconscious, our mind, and our body records our beginning. This is why we grow our hair, the ether. This records our vibration. You see the way it spirals, the way it thins, or the way it thickens. This is relative to things like stress and nutrition, our vitality, but also a record and a connection to our past. is literally like an EKG, like the rings on a tree, spirals through time. And so where I show where I show like where I show the alien, which is me like putting a leaf on the ground with an ant. That's when I was high during meditation and yoga, like, and I realized the reason they crucified Christ represents the sun, which is also consciousness, which is also the ego. The reason they crucified Christ is because they felt he threatened the hierarchy, and that people followed him and believed them over the kings. Like he had more power than the kings. And the system, he like completely broke the matrix that was installed like in Babylon at that time, like in the world. And so they felt they needed to humble him through the crucifixion. And so that symbolized ego death with the 30 pieces of silver and the 30 nights when Judas sold him out, and the death and the rebirth. And so when Jesus was in the garden, he asked God, is there another way? Take this cup from me. Is there another way, and that I could fulfill my destiny? And God was telling him in the garden that basically Judas was leading him to his destiny, and that there is no other way, that this is the way. And this is when he came out of the garden, when they came to arrest him. Peter drew his sword and sliced off one of the soldiers' ear, and Jesus stopped them. And he went with the guards, or the soldiers. And he surrendered to his fate, or his destiny. And so this was his path. Everything serves a purpose. When I was high and I was out there and I was thinking about the crucifixion, because I was going through some trials and some things myself, and I relate to the stories. And the stories in the Bible, you're really every character. They're phases. That's why we read the Bible, in order to learn from the people, the mistakes, because there are also trials, lessons, and tests. But the thing is, basic instructions before leaving Earth, this is the instruction booklet or the manual. Like, we get the rules, or we understand the game, or, you feel me, life, the basic instructions of life, and we're tested. And so in the field, things are different. It's easy to say one thing like when it comes New Year's versus March, or and so so it's one of those things. Everything is a trial and a test and a lesson to expand your consciousness and grow, and to give you a chance to play the part that you said that you are. And you'll be baited and cast into other people's roles, and people want you to play a part in their world. But that's the thing. Nothing is, everything matters. The whole basis of religion, the whole, the whole basis of religion, the whole basis of any religion, the whole basis of science, the whole basis of divination, the whole basis of life, any form of divination. People can do divination through the internet, which is using the computer, using cell phones, using video games, divination through the sky, astrology. People can use cards, tarot. People can work with spirits, the dead, necromancy, mediumship. There's so many forms of divination. People can even look at the clouds and scry. People can look at a cup of tea or coffee and scry. Smoke coming from incense and scry. Formulate an image based in the subconscious and reading. That was the reflection of the original crystal ball. Today the crystal ball is the screen that you see, the black mirror. It is a crystal and there's crystals inside of it. This is how we connect with each other. It's the same concept of the crystal ball, where they scry inside of it, reflecting back the consciousness. And so the whole basis of science and pseudoscience and religion and everything that we do day to day is that nothing is random. Everything happens for a reason. And like Solange says, do nothing without intention. Do nothing without intention. Everything you do has an intention behind it. The thing is, not everybody is in touch with their subconscious. And this is 85% of the mind. And the body is a part of the subconscious. And so a lot of times people do things and they're not aware of even why they did it. They may react on the feeling. They may react on the thought. They may react on the programming. They may react from a place of trauma. They may react because somebody told them, they saw it in a movie that they kept watching. They heard it on the radio. They seen someone else do it. They heard about it. They read about it. They dreamt about it. Everything has an inspiration, in spirit, inspired. Everything already exists in eternity, in the whole, in oneness. Everything already exists because time doesn't exist. Separation doesn't exist. Everything is happening all at once and all possibilities exist. As you expand and as you move forward on your timeline and choosing, alternate past timelines collapse and new timelines open. And this is why rejection is protection and is also redirection, because new pathways are available. Nothing is impossible. But if you believe it's not impossible, then it isn't possible. If you believe it's not possible, then it isn't possible. And so everything happens for a reason. And you should do nothing without intention, without being conscious of your intention. Psychologists, psychiatrists, people who are more emotionally intelligent or more wise or experienced, they tend to know why you do things, why a person does things, typically. But then you have things like mental disorders. You have age differences. You have different parts of the world, cultures, and religions. And things are done differently based on the individual. And so things get misconstrued and mistranslated. And so, truly, you ought to do everything consciously with intention. Because when you don't do, hold on, I think, trying to, I think I seen this guy before. I'm trying to remember. What was I thinking? A distraction can program your subconscious. Something that you see visually can program your subconscious. This is how trauma happens. Like, you don't have to physically incur trauma. We suffer more in imagination than we do in reality. And pain is in the mind. It's mind over matter, energy over matter. This is how we manifest, and this is how we live life. We create while we perceive. And so somebody can see something, like somebody can witness things within their family. Somebody can see somebody being unalive. Somebody can see people fight. Somebody can see, somebody can be separated. Somebody can have different experiences just based off of them witnessing things that they perceive a certain way, which traumatizes them. And so this is why, like, everything is like important to make the darkness or your subconscious conscious, because once you have a conscious understanding of yourself and life, once you understand yourself, and this is why I said know thyself, once you understand yourself, you can understand another. And so the thing about intention is, I wrote a line that says, I wrote a line that says, actions are seen and felt, though intentions are unheard, or something along that line. Like, I gotta look it up. But basically, like, you can do something with good intentions and somebody can take it positive or take it negatively, or it could produce a negative outcome or results. The same way you could do something negatively and it could produce a positive result. You could have negative intentions and do something positive, or you could have negative intentions and do something negative as well. But the way that God works and the way the universe works and the way that energy works, it's like everything works out. And that's because it is. And that's justice. Like, when you look at the justice card, just ice. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. And in the Bible it says, And the Bible says, vengeance is mine. And we're not supposed to take revenge. The reason that is because when you take revenge, you're matching the frequency. The thing about, this is something that we do as children, like somebody pushes you, okay, I'm gonna push you back, I'm gonna push you harder. Or you took this, so I'm gonna take this from you. Or you did this, so I'm gonna do it back. This is copycat, this is matching energy. And when you match energy, this is why it's a test, because when you match the energy, you will get karma for whatever you put out. Whatever intention you have behind, you will get a karma from behind what you put out. You can't control what others do, but you can control what you do. And so this is why I begin to understand why Buddhists don't even kill flies and wasps, like they release them back into the wild, because they understand that they see the bug as themselves, because it's an extension of the life force. Like how we're all connected. The only thing that separates us is space, time, age, race, religion, gender, countries, languages, perception. And so this is an illusion that's in this dimension, but when you're in a higher frequency, this is why we're all connected through the whole. And so Buddhists see every extension of life as their self, because it is, as themselves, because it is. Like the tree is alive, it's connected with the rest of the trees. Like if you see these trees here, they're connected. The trees are connected. The lives are below. There's a mycelia network. Below, the root system is connected. Below, they communicate with each other. Below, they send nutrients to each other. Below, they are one. But above, the illusion on this, because that's a dimension within the earth. Above, in the air dimension, you see the separation of these 5 trees. Or these 6 trees. There's so many. And really all is one. And so we see the separation of the trees above the surface, but really they're all one. And this is the illusion. And so they're even connected above the surface. The thing is, we can't see it with the human eye. And so everything that we do, we send out into the universe. Everything we speak, because there's a life force around to interpret it, to perceive it, and to connect it to the consciousness. And even if there's literally no life force, you are the life force that connects back to God, that interprets it. And this is why we do things like make affirmations, or we pray. We close our eyes and we look inside, because we're communicating with ourselves. And so even when we speak outwardly, we're putting a vibration outside. And this is the ether. Everything is connected. And this is the 5th chakra. And this is why when you get to the 5-point star, the spirit, which aligns with the moon, this is the body and the ether and the 4 elements. The two feminine, earth and water. The 2 masculine, air and fire. And then ether, the 5th element, which ties them all together. But once you get to the 6th element, the sun, the 5th element correlates with the moon, and this is why it's associated with witchcraft. Once you get to the 6th element, the sun, this is the seed of the soul, or the sun, which is eternal. Your soul leaves an imprint from a lifetime. And so you have an incarnation when you enter the realm. The same way you enter